All right, people. So this is long overdue. I've been saying I'm gonna do this for a long time, and I finally, after saying I would do my whole prep, waited till I was like 12 days out to finally sit down and do an introduction video and Q&A. So, who am I? My name's Brock Jenkins. I'm a competitive bodybuilder. I did classic physique and bodybuilding back in March. I won 2 overalls, so I'm prepping for MPC Nationals. And yeah, I've been on prep since December 26th of last year, so I am ready for it to be here. Just a little about me. I've been lifting since I was about 16. I trained pretty consistently till I was 20, 21. Then I started having some mental health stuff, fell off the wagon, didn't lift for like 2 years, got pretty damn fat. And after all of that, I was in a pretty bad place. And I woke up one day, looked at myself in the mirror and said, this isn't me. So I got in my car, drove to my last coach's gym and signed up. Got the ball rolling there. Did that. That was 2 years ago. Won 2 overalls at my first show. Now I'm prepping for nationals. Love the gym. It's a huge part of my life, obviously. I also coach both lifestyle and competitors, and that's a huge blessing. I love working with people. I think a lot of our issues in this world could be solved through exercise and nutrition. If people didn't eat like shit and sit around on their asses all day, they'd probably be a lot healthier. So I think that the gym is a great asset that I think everyone should be utilizing. But now I'm going to go into my Q&A. I'm actually going to have my wife Nikki asking the questions, just so it's a little more conversational and you're not just hearing my monotone voice for the next several minutes. So just about me and Nikki. We've been married for 3 years, going on 4 years in June. We have 2 puppies. They're not really puppies, they're 3. I have a Belgian Malinois named Riot, and then I have a Lab Retriever mixed named Maverick. Also, I don't know if I said where I lived, but I live in Lehi, Utah. I train at FTC in West Jordan, and yeah, like that's pretty much all there is to the 2 of us. Nikki's an accountant. She also lifts with me every day. She's my main lifting partner. What's the first question?
Okay, so the first question is, what has helped you develop your physique the most?
Obviously, like, there's a couple things. Consistency, like, you have to be doing it for a while. You can't just, there's no shortcut. You can't cheat time. But I'd also say the other thing was, I got this from Mike Van Wyck, and it is humble yourself and watch you become a better bodybuilder. And I focused less on how heavy I'm lifting and more how I'm lifting. Being able to get like a harder contraction, focus a lot more on the movement and the biomechanics of each lift has been way more beneficial than anything else I've done. So I would say just slowing it down, focusing more on the rep and being efficient and very mechanical with your movements is way more beneficial than just hucking it and just whatever you got to do to get that bar up every time, because I've done both and I've made drastically more progress just being humble. So
The next question is, what was the hardest muscle for you to grow?
probably my chest. I've had a couple shoulder surgeries. I did my rotator, CCL, labrum, AC joint, bicep, and then I did my labrum. So obviously that's all connected, and your body just overcompensates whenever it has an injured area. So I had to pretty much relearn how to train chest, and yeah, hit it 2 times really heavy every week for like 2 straight years. And it's finally getting some recognition.
Finally looking good.
Yeah, it's no longer 8-year-old boy. Like,
no.
Now I look like I actually lift. So I at least have that going for me.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, the next question is, what made you start competing?
So that's actually a funny story. All of my friends already competed and were pretty into it. I was way into it before I got in, like, my bad depression and just went through all of that. But I was playing Xbox with one of my friends. His name's Mac. And he'd always call me a fat ass. And it just pissed me off. And I was like, okay, man, like, I'm not a fat ass. Like, I'm choosing to be this way. And he's like, you couldn't do a prep. So I was like, whatever, I'll do a prep. So I did that entire prep all the way to March. And then COVID hit and my show got canceled. So then I had already gotten in shape and I could say like, oh, look at me. So then I would say the next time it was more, I wasn't like doing it because I was in love with competing. I was doing it because it was a byproduct of hard work and just sticking to a regimen for several months. Then after I competed, now I would say I compete because I enjoy competing and I just enjoy getting on stage and I like the posing and I like the whole thing. But I didn't know that until I actually did it. At first, I didn't really give a shit to compete. I was like, I'll do it. Like, we'll see how I do. But then I did it and I was hooked. So
yeah,
that's how I got into it.
The next question is, where do I start to put together a diet and a workout plan?
So that's kind of a tricky, well, not really. It's an easy answer. For a workout plan, find something that you personally can stick to for a long, consistent time. Whether that's push-pull legs, a bro split, like hypertrophy, progressive overload. It doesn't matter. As long as you can stick to it forever. Something that you can be consistent at, and that's what I would say to do a workout plan. I'd try to hit at least every body part once a week. Anything like that, super easy. And then as far as diet, I'd just hire a coach. I mean, I coach, insert ad, but not just, it's super beneficial. I hire a coach, I pay tons of money every year for a coach because it helps me, it helps alleviate the stress of trying to figure it out on my own. I have someone to blame if I don't look good, It dependent on what your goals are, that's the other thing. So you'd want to figure out what your goals are, and then you'd adjust your macros accordingly. You would want to do mostly clean foods. I'd eat 6 meals a day, constructed up protein, carbs, and a fat, or proteins and just carbs. I'd probably only have fats at like maybe 2 to 3 of those meals, depending on what your goals are. But that's what I would do.
So next is, what is your motivation and also what hardships have you gone through with bodybuilding?
Motivation. Honestly, like, if you're gonna do something, be great at it. Don't half-ass anything. I don't want to go pro. I want to go to the Olympia. I don't want to go to the Olympia. I want to win the Olympia. It's having goals, and I always say, like, complacency is the killer of dreams. Like, go after it. Don't be stagnant. If you have a goal, run after it. In terms of hardship, this year's been a banger. I mean, Nikki had surgery a year ago. I had surgery. I lost my job. Multiple car things. Had to buy a new car. A lot of things. I don't even know.
It's been a year. That would be a whole video.
I could make a whole segment on shit that has happened this year. But switching divisions, doing different things that I wasn't anticipating, switching coaches, losing friends, like deaths. Like, there's a whole lot of shit this year. This has easily been the toughest year of my life. But it's also been a blessing.
This is a fun question. Small calves but big arms, or big calves and small arms? I think I know what you'd say.
Big arms, small calves.
Absolutely.
I don't even train calves. I've trained calves maybe 2 times this year. Like, I train arms multiple times, and these little guys still won't grow. So I would easily, having big calves and small arms, I would easily take big arms, small calves.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, tips for someone just starting bodybuilding.
Stick to it. Remember, it's a marathon, you know. I didn't wake up looking the way I do now. It was a couple years of looking like a bag of dog shit. You know, like I looked like a wet paper towel for a few years there, but here I am now, and it was just years of grinding, being consistent, just being like, you know what, I don't give a shit what it's gonna take. I'm gonna go in, kill that workout. It's sitting in a sauna when you're already on freaking no water. It's taking ice, or it's taking baths with Epsom salt and rubbing alcohol, you know, like, I don't know. I'm kind of going on a tangent.
I see that. All right, we'll move on.
What was it? I don't even remember the question.
The question was, I think, tips for someone starting bodybuilding.
Yeah, so stick with it.
No matter.
It's a banger.
No matter
Sorry,
what you
I'm
have
on
to
low
do.
carbs, but it is a banger, and I was just reflecting on all the shit that you have to go through, but it is so worth it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, what is something most non-competitors don't know about bodybuilding? I feel like there's so much.
There's a lot of stuff.
I feel like people don't realize like how intricate and
Yeah,
like
there's
so
a
this
lot
is like
that
a
goes in.
full-time job.
Like,
It's not like lifting.
yeah.
Okay, a lot goes into it.
Yeah, a lot goes into it. Like, you're manipulating water, sodium. You get sprayed butt ass naked, like, and girls are up there and your legs, you know, like, it's a whole experience. Like, a lot of people don't realize how much cardio you're doing. It's like, I'm at an hour. I do 30 minutes, but I've done 2 hours. I was doing an hour fasted, hour post-workout, and I train an hour. There's 3 hours of training a day. Then you're posing for 30 to 45 minutes. You have to come up with a posing routine for some of these. Like, they all have different mandatories, so every different division has different mandatories. Mandatory poses. So, yeah, that's what I'd say.
More than just...
There's a lot that goes into it that people don't understand. And, like, when people say, oh, like, this one little thing won't hurt you, and they try to get you to eat off plan, it does affect you. Like,
that's
like eating a Snicker bar, like, it's gonna affect me. You know, like, get that off.
Yeah.
That shit.
We could honestly make a whole video on that.
Yeah, like, literally, I need to make a video on prep etiquette. Like, don't offer people food. Like, I don't give a shit how nice you are. You don't know how I cook my food. You don't know how I season my food. You do not know, like, all the aspects. You don't know that I put an X amount of salt on my food. You don't know, like, there's so much shit that goes into it. I don't use oils. I don't use butters. Like,
okay, what is the most difficult part of prep for you?
Honestly, more like social things, I'd say. I'm fine dieting. Like, that's fine. I've been dieting all year, and that hasn't been that shitty. But, like, missing out on, like we've missed out on our anniversary, Thanksgiving, both our birthdays, Valentine's Day.
We can't go out.
We can't go out and eat. Yeah, but I'm saying, so it's like, and there's a lot of, like, celebrations are associated a lot with, like, eating and food. So, and you don't get invited to as much shit when you're not eating because people feel awkward. So that's the other thing. So I'd say probably just the social aspect.
You might have already answered this. Can you tell us your experience with muscle tension and progressive overload?
Yeah, so basically, I follow progressive overload on like my compound movements, you know, like when I'm benching, squatting, you know, the heavier movements of the exercise, not like any of my accessory movements. So basically what that would look like is, say I'm doing bench. I would go into it, like, say my max bench is 400 pounds, 405. I'd go into it, hit 225 for probably like 15. Then I'd jump up to 315, and I'd probably hit 315 for like 6. I'd jump up to 365, hit it for 4, and then hit my working set of 8 at 405. Then I'd drop down to 365, and that's a failure set. 6 to 8, boom, failure. That is my top set. I'd reduce the weight then by like 80%, and then I'd shoot to 8 to 12. That's how I do progressive overload. And you're progressing every week. It doesn't matter if it's sets, reps, like, pounds as long as it's increasing. So if you did 10 sets of 10 at 1 pound, that's 100 pounds, right? You did 100 pounds. The next week, you need to be greater than that. Doesn't matter if you did 10 sets of 10 at 2 pounds, 10 sets of 11 at 1 pound, 11 sets of 10 at 1 pound. It doesn't matter as long as you're increasing every week, that total load. And in terms of muscle tension, like I always say, like focus on time under tension. The eccentric movement, I do 3 counts on almost everything. It's super beneficial. You're activating a lot of dormant muscle fibers, and really you just blow up doing that. So I've done both. I've done the hucking, I've done the tension. The tension works better. So next question.
Okay. What are some tips for a successful relationship / marriage?
I think what makes me and Nikki work the best is we're equally invested in each other's goals, whether that's her finishing an exam or me doing a competition. Like sometimes they're going to need you to do some more of the heavy lifting, and you're just gonna have to shoulder that load every once in a while, and it's just a give and take. And I'd say that's the first thing, is just like equally invested in one another. The second thing is honesty. Like just be straight up, don't have any secrets, you know. Like we're pretty blunt with each other. If we have a problem, we'd say we have a problem. Like if she's like, how does this look on me, I'm saying it looks shitty, you know. Like she'll do the same thing to me, because like we trust one another, and that, like, if we say something to one another, we believe it. And then the third thing I would say is just make sure they always know they're loved, because I think that's what's the most important. Is sometimes we just get so wrapped up in like worrying about how others feel towards us that we don't always reciprocate and show how much we love them and how much they care for us. So that's what I would say are my 3 biggest tips. And I'll do one more question and then I'll give my nationals announcement.
Okay, you're a big foodie, so what is your favorite place to eat?
Oof. Should I do a couple? Like,
you can name a few.
I'll do my favorite burger.
Okay, favorite burger. That's tough. You got a lot of favorites.
I like Lucky 13. I think they're fire. They have that mac and cheese burger, and that shit slaps. Or the Celestial burger, that also slaps.
You love that.
Pizza, the pie, Mexican.
Yeah, you love Mexican.
I like Maria Bonita's, or what's that place called? Chili Tepin, or I like Red Tacos down in Provo. That shit.
The Red Taco truck.
That's fuego.
So good.
And then and then I love cookies and shit. My cookie dealer absolutely knocks the dick off of any other cookie. Yeah, sponsor me. Everyone go buy from my cookie dealer. And then nationals. So as a lot of you know, I posted I am doing men's physique. So I have to cut to get down to 212. And then you still have to carb up and fill out. And my biggest complaint from my last show was I was way too flat.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I know I need to bring my arms up. And when you're capped out at a weight class, there's no room for improvement. So our plan is to do men's physique, focus on fullness, round. Like I have round muscles. I just don't fill them out because I'm always dieting. So just carb up, fill out, look my best, lean, hard, full, and then pursue that. Once we get a pro card there, I gain 13 pounds and go up to 225 and get to compete in classic at 225. As a pro. And that's where my heart is. I mean, me and Ariel are on the same page. He's like, you have the physique for it. We just need some overall density, but we can't get overall density because you got to stay in the weight cap. So why don't we do men's physique where you can be successful right now and go from there. So I hope this is a lesson for my clients and just people in general. If you have a coach, trust your coach, because he'll put you in the place where you will be the most successful. I have great legs. I've been practicing posing for a year, you know, but I trust my coach. He thinks I'll be more successful there. I said, you know what? I hired you to make me a pro. And then I hired you to get me to the Olympia. Like, I don't give a shit how I get there. I don't care what steps I have to take. I just want to get to the destination. And this is just this is a detour. and a long journey that I know I'm gonna get through. So that's what I'm doing. Those dudes are stacked. Brendan Hendrickson ain't no bitch. He's massive. You know, same with E Banks. He's huge. Like, it's not that I'm small. I still have a small waist. If anything, that's good for me. You know, why not capitalize on a small waist when you have a big upper body? So that's my plan. And for any of you that are like, oh, I want to go into classic, like, just go where you should be at the time. You know, like, a lot of you guys that want to be in classic should be in men's physique still. And a lot of you in bodybuilding should be, I mean, some of you should be in bodybuilding, you just need to add size. But a lot of you shouldn't be there either. So stop forcing shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, your class doesn't dictate how hard you train. I train just as hard as any person in the gym. But my point is if your coach says, I feel like you should go there, don't be like, oh, I don't want to do men's physique. Oh, I don't want to do it. Like, that's stupid. Like, no one gives a shit. And if they do give a shit, they're probably not doing anything in the sport. Because any real entity or pro or anyone involved in bodybuilding is not shitting on men's physique, is not shitting on classic, is not shitting on bodybuilding. Everyone just wants to eat. So that's what I'm doing. I'll be vlogging at least once a week. I'm going to do the trip. I leave for Florida a week from Sunday. It's going to be a banger. We're going to hit some sick gyms, get some sick lifts. I'll be full because now I'm eating.
Yeah, you
so
got
I
less
actually look
cardio
good.
now and more food.
I got
so
less
we're
cardio,
here for
more
it.
food, full as a freaking horse
Hopefully
dick.
you'll stop being so forgetful. And
yeah, hopefully my brain turns back on. So just thankful for the opportunity to compete, you know. So thankful I'm healthy this prep and I'm happy, I'm content. If I don't do well, I still improved. So can't be mad. I'm thankful that I have a good team around me. I switched to men's physique and I had like 9 big people in the industry like helping me. So I'm pretty thankful for that. But peace, my loves, and I'll see you next week, my children, because we got to make some more banger content. Anyway, well, appreciate you. Bye.